Welcome back, everybody, to Rob's MetalWorks. We are here in the home studio, continuing our endeavors to support Texas metal. And tonight, I'm super stoked to bring you Coastal Bend thrash fucking legends. Yes, the band Anialator from Corpus Christi. And I have with me Tony Gomez and Alex from the band. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
What's up? Yeah!
Yeah!
So good to be on the show, Rob.
Thanks for having us, Rob. Fuck yeah, man. Thank you.
Oh, man. You guys...
This is a legend right here, man. This guy's been doing it almost as long as we have. I mean, 30 years, right, bro?
Something like that.
What can you say?
I love it.
Only took us 30 years to get here.
Exactly.
Good point.
No, we're gonna get to why you're really here because, you know, we're gonna delve deep into your history and, you know, a legendary history, and the fact that you guys are still producing some great thrash metal, and you know, people who follow Rob's know that thrash is my forte. I love thrash metal. And tonight, guys, you know, other than other nights, you know, I've had a great time talking to you guys, and I think you and I are on the same level when it comes to thrash metal and music. Great connection, right, Tony?
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
To the core, man.
Oh, man, we're loving it. We're loving it.
Bonded by blood.
Bonded by blood, Gary Holt, Bloody Blood. Oh, my God.
Bonded by
The
metal
list
blood.
goes on and on and on, right?
Yes.
Okay, so lots to cover tonight. Aside from your wonderful record, Death is Calling, that I've been jamming to this past year. And we have to start, Alex, as the original founding member of Anialator. Talk to me a little bit about the early formations of this band, which, correct me if I'm wrong, began in 1986. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, tell me a little bit about it.
Well, I actually formed Anialator after I exited. I was in Devastation for like a year, Texas Devastation for like a year and a half. I was on their demo, and after I exited that band, I still wanted to continue music.
Yeah.
So what I ended up doing was I decided to form a band on my own. Went around looking for members, and I found our first guitar player, Marco Levo. I found him at one of our shows. I met him at one of our shows in Corpus Christi, local shows, underground shows. Started talking, and we hit it off and all that. So I told him I wanted to start this band. He was like, "Yeah, I'll play guitar." He said he knew a drummer. From there, he got our drummer Alonso Garcia in the band. And
did you already have the name Anialator?
Actually, I came up with the name first before I even started a band because...
So at that time, you were already Anialator?
At that time, not really. This is how it worked. I got out of Devastation. I was piddling around with names.
Right.
You know, Anialator. I came up... Luckily, I was a bad speller because I spelled Annihilator wrong because, of course, you know, there's another... I already know there's another Annihilator from Canada.
Yeah. But it's a different spelling.
Different spelling. That's right. I spell it the wrong way. You know, and that wasn't on purpose. I just didn't know how to spell, I guess, you know. So anyway, so I ended up getting these... Marco Levo ended up getting our drummer Alonso Garcia. I ended up talking to our singer, Mark Arispe, our first singer, at a show too. He decided to join us. He knew another guitar player named David Trevino because they all went to school together. All these dudes were in high school. I was the oldest one in the band. I was already probably like 20 maybe. And they were like 18, 16, 17, something like that. So we got together. I came up with the name first before I even got any members. We got together, we started rehearsing, and that was 1986.
But these young cats, they were like, oh, like Alex used to be in Devastation. So it was kind of like a...
Well, no, they knew me from Devastation, but they were not like, oh, this dude used to play. You know, it wasn't nothing like starstruck.
Oh, okay.
They were just cool dudes that were into metal like me, like bands like I liked.
But at least they knew, like, this dude's legit.
Oh, yeah. Because one of them, like Marco Levo, used to help out Devastation when we did local shows. So he would help the drummer for Devastation, Jesse Lopez. At the time.
Yeah.
So he knew Jesse. So that's how I kind of met Mark, from him coming around and helping us in shows and stuff like that. So that's one of the persons I went to first, and then from there, we ended up getting everybody we needed, rehearsed. It took us like probably a month or 2 months to come up with 4 songs. We ended up recording a demo, ended up putting it out, and I happened to send one to a company in California called Rag Records, because I come up to Hogwa and we used to buy these zines back then, black and white magazines or whatever.
Is that what is called Annihilator 1?
Yeah, it's just, and I don't know why we never named our albums.
Yeah.
It's Annihilator, and then the second one's Annihilator also. But what separates them is what everybody usually says is like the white album, which is the white cover.
Right.
The second album was colored vinyl.
And
So
that was in 87? That Annihilator 1 was in 87?
Yeah, it was like 87. It came out in
Yeah,
87.
yeah.
So I ended up sending a demo to Wild Rag Records. Richard C., that owned Wild Rag Records, heard it, wrote back to me, said if I was interested in this and that, send him my phone number, because there's no computer.
Right.
There's no email.
Right.
It was all snail mail, and it was also
Phone calls.
which I was at home living that, it was expensive to make a fucking phone call to California.
I was about to say that. Long distance phone calls back in the day cost money,
yeah,
right?
For young kids, it's called a landline. I don't know if you even know that. So, yeah, I talked to him. We worked things out. He sent us a contract. And from there, we were signed to Wild Rags and just put out 2 EPs and a picture disc. And then that was it. We were around from 86 to like 90. And then it ended up, that was it for it. We changed the band name and all this other stuff.
Right. Was thrash always the forte?
At the time, it was something that was new. Because
I remember, back at that time too, there wasn't really much more than thrash.
No, it was.
There weren't like so many genres of metal like now.
It came from. If you remember, it came from the '70s rock, like Sabbath, and then you had like Legs Diamond, Moxie, and all that, and then it evolved from Judas Priest to Iron Maiden, and then at that time, thrash didn't exist until Metallica, Venom, and all those, and then it was a new genre was formed, and I was like, wow, the speed, the aggression, that angst, you know what I mean? That music just talked to. I mean, most of us in our that are in here, it talked to us. So thrash metal is what we wanted to play, and speed was, we love speed. We're speed demons. If you listen to that first album, it's all haul ass. It's just like fuck. If you're slow, you're a poser. Back then, it's like fucking just fucking haul ass. So. That was thrash is what we set out to do, and that's what we wanted to do, play thrash metal.
One of the things I really love about you, Alex, is that you're a veteran from back in the heyday of thrash, in the early beginnings of thrash. And, in our Texas metal scene, it was happening, in different sectors. It was happening in Corpus and in San Antonio, of course. What was happening in Corpus at that time? I mean, you mentioned Devastation, but there was bands like Ankor Wat as well who were also making a name for themselves. So, when I interview Corpus bands, I know there's a history of heaviness that goes back just as far back as San Antonio, and though. And I hope I don't, offend anybody, but Corpus, is not San Antonio, but still, there was a lot of beautiful things and heavy things happening in Corpus. So, share a little bit about what was happening in Corpus at that time.
Well, like any city, Corpus had metal bands, but they were heavy metal bands.
Yeah.
There were bands like, we had a band that was doing all originals that really kind of laid the groundwork for other bands like us coming up later on. There was Purple Mushroom, a band called Purple Mushroom. Wow. And there was a band called like Virgin Force and all that. These bands were doing original, but they were doing more like, I want to say like Judas Priest type metal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was still something back then. So they would rent out dance halls and do shows there, or they would go to local little dives, like little, I guess, drive-in mom and pop beer joints and do shows there. So that was going on then. And then when the thrash metal explosion hit, and of course, everybody from Corpus that at that time that was into that music started getting into thrash metal would come up here to San Antonio to Hogwild. that was like, you know, we would save our $3 an hour paychecks because that's what minimum wage was back then, like $3.25.
Wow.
You know, save them all month. We would pile in 2 cars, buy some beer, and head up to San Antonio and hit Hog Wild and just buy all kinds of shit. That's where we went.
Yeah.
So what happened was there was a guy that from Corpus Christi named Rodney Dunsmore, who is the singer for Devastation.
Yes. I was going to mention him. He was part of Devastation as well.
He actually, to me, he is credited for starting the scene in Corpus.
Really?
He took it to the next level where when he formed Devastation, he started doing shows and renting out like dance halls, renting out VFW halls, the Boys Club, whatever, doing shows like that. And back then in Corpus, as he did shows, the scene was coming up. He managed a band called Virgin Force, or he helped a band called Virgin Force out. I mean, not Virgin Force. Was it Final Assault? Final Assault from Corpus Christi. Yeah, it was Final Assault. They were also kind of like a Merciful Fate type band. He started helping them out and booking shows for them. So the scene started getting bigger and bigger because people wanted original music, you know. And Corpus barely got any concerts back in the day.
Yeah,
you know, the bigger bands. We're talking about touring acts, you know. So things started growing. The guitar player for Final Assault, his name was Dave Burke, decided he wanted to leave and form a heavier band, faster band, which was Devastation. So him and Rodney put Devastation together, Dave Burke and Rodney Dunsmore, and they started taking it from there, and they started doing it themselves, and they were building on that. As they did shows with Devastation, crowds got bigger, kids got into it more. I mean, we're doing, at the time I was in Devastation, we would do a local show, 800 kids.
Wow.
You know,
that's crazy.
They would team up with like, after Devastation came around, Ankor Wat showed up and started, you know, Ankor Wat was formed. They started doing stuff. They would both team up together and do shows.
What year was that? What did you say?
I want to say like 87, 86, 87.
Wow, cool.
Like
they become known as the end of Summer Slam sessions. Historic shows that everybody looked forward to at the end of summer.
1,200 kids would show up.
With a rotting corpse.
1,200 kids would show up to a dance hall.
Yeah.
You know, somebody ran a PA and Stardust. Yeah. You know, just ballrooms.
Yeah.
And 1,200 kids would show up and just go crazy over this music. And these bands, you're talking about, these bands weren't even signed at the time, you know?
For sure.
They just had demos. But the people were so hungry for music in Corpus because the only way we got music was either come to San Antonio because you guys were the heavy metal capital of the world at the time. And you guys got all kinds of great stuff, from Exciter to, you know, Megadeth to, you know, Merciful Fate, Motorhead. Everybody came through here, you know, because you guys were the metal capital of the world. So that's what, you know, that's how we started our scene, is, I guess, kind of basing it off of you guys here, the shows that used to happen here. So like I said, the scene really grew there, and I got to credit Rodney Dunsmore from Devastation for bringing it all up.
Yeah, I know Rodney. In fact, you know, we were talking off camera, you know, about life and things, and I remember, and I didn't say this earlier, but I remember when I did mention my divorce. I got divorced. I was going through some hard times financially, and I sold Rodney some of my records.
Oh,
yeah.
He's got a huge collection.
I know. I knew he's a collection.
Oh my God.
And in fact, you know, he paid me top dollar for some of my stuff, and you know, thank you, Rodney. You really helped me out at that time. And I also came to know that he bought the record collection of my late friend Scott Fullwiler. Yeah, you know Scott Fullwiler.
He ran that website.
You see that Texas Metal Underground?
Yeah.
You see that picture right there? That's him right there.
All right.
You see it? All right.
Yeah.
Scott Fullwiler, if you don't know, Scott Fullwiler was my best friend.
Oh.
He was my best friend.
Sorry to.
And when he passed away, it was very hard for me. And he would come over. He lived in Austin. He would come to my house every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, he would come to my house, and we'd sit at this table, drink beer, and jam music. That's all we did. But he was a smoker, and you know, smoking got the best of him. but I still love him.
I know he helped. I think I remember Rodney telling me that he bought.
Yeah.
He had left certain instructions. I think that if something ever happened to him, the first person to go to, like, for his records.
For sure. And he probably did that because he knows that Rodney is a legit music fan, and legit also had the money to buy his.
Yeah,
collection.
he wouldn't lowball anybody.
Right.
He would pay what it's worth.
Let me ask you: are Annihilator 1 and 2 still available? I mean, are they for people to download and buy?
You can find them on the internet all over the place.
I know they're on YouTube. I saw them on YouTube.
Yeah, they're on
But
YouTube.
if people wanted to download them and have them, can they do that?
I'm not sure.
Because like I told you earlier, like right before we started recording, like all my music is on my phone. Like I own music. Like I don't like to listen to stream and stuff.
Not a borrowed thing.
I don't like to stream stuff. So if I wanted to download or buy Annihilator 1 and 2, is that possible or no?
No, I don't believe so. I think I've never put anything. I personally have never put anything on there for downloads. But I know we have like a compilation CD that Extreme Music put out called Mission of Death that has the first album on it on CD. This was released on CD because we only released vinyl in the 80s. We never.
Do you still have those files?
Man. I don't even.
What?
I think these were done off of an album.
You should have those files.
These were done off of an album.
Oh no!
They were transferred from an album onto a CD because I don't have.
What happened to the master recordings? The master tapes?
I mean, we were. Not kids, but we weren't too smart about. We would turn over the masters to
somebody has them.
Yeah, well, the dude from Wild Rags ended up getting the IRS ended up locking him up, and they had to auction off his stuff. So somebody ended up with the Annihilator masters. And,
what the fuck?
Or at least that's what I heard. Don't hold me to it. I don't get sued or anything, but that was through the grapevine.
Nah.
They ended up auctioning his warehouses that he had because he had a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And somebody got the master. I have the masters to the second one, the reel. We were only recorded on reel.
Yeah.
So the Annihilator 2, I just found maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. I found the I guess you want to say the master reel.
Yeah.
So I do have the master reel.
Yeah.
But as for putting it anywhere, I don't know if you can even.
Wow.
Besides the newer stuff that you can download,
but it's crazy, Same thing. If you watch the Gary Holt interview, the masters for like Bonded for Blood, he was like, I don't know where they're at. And I'm like, how the fuck does that happen? Like, you don't know where the greatest record you ever recorded, like, you don't know where the masters are at. Yeah, it's crazy. Watch that interview.
A real quick story, how we got the second masters for Annihilator 2 was the first time we recorded, when we recorded an Annihilator 1, first off, we're trying to find a recording studio this is the 80s, 1986, right? The only place we could find was at the Hano place called Hacienda Records in Corpus. It was all they recorded was the Hano groups, but we had no choice. We needed to record something, so we go in there, we pay.
But they have pro gear.
Yeah, they got pro gear.
Yeah,
they
had
boards that were wider than this room.
Yeah, those fucking producers don't know how to record a metal record, but if you're gonna pay them to use their pro gear, they're gonna do it.
So what happens is we go in there and they set up all our shit, and they put us. And another thing was isolation booths, which we're used to seeing each other play and hear each other.
Right.
Now we're in isolation booths, right? So the guy goes, okay, vámonos. So we're gonna go ahead.
Pinche metalhead.
Estás listo. They were all like, estás listo. Bueno. Okay, we're gonna do it right now. So he goes, okay, and so our drummer's like, shh. We start playing and like, whoa, wait, what? Hey, you need to take all that distortion off. It's messing up the board. And I'm like, we can't. What do you mean take the distortion off? That's part of our thing.
Put your levels down.
That's part of our sound. No. So long story short, if you listen to the first album, it's pretty rough, man. It's like the timing's off with us, but it was hard to tell back then. So it's just, I don't know, dude. It's just horrible. The first record, the sounding wise, I mean, it served its purpose, but it was just horrible wise. So it's just crazy. I thought I'd share that quick story with you, dude, because it was hard to record in the first place when you're in an isolation booth and you're used to practicing looking at each other. So, but we got it done, and we, it did what it did. It served its purpose.
Alex, thank you for sharing all that, man. I love hearing these old stories, because when you think about the 80s thrash scene and what was happening with music and musicians, it's definitely a different time than it is today. I follow you on social media, and I saw your post about the Rigor Mortis story that you shared on Facebook at Joe's Garage. And I'm so glad that you did that. A guy with your experience and tenure has so many stories, and you shared one with me about the Metallica Ride the Lightning tour a little while ago, which I will share with you people later. But you shared a story about how Rigor Mortis helped you guys get a show in Fort Worth, and Bruce Corbett was there, and there was like some fucking fight that broke out, and Bruce Corbett actually got stabbed, and he was wearing your shirt, and he
was more worried. He was more worried about his shirt being messed up than him being stabbed. I was like, what, dude? I said, what are you talking about?
Bruce, I don't know if you know this or not, Alex, but I'll share with you and Tony that Bruce Corbett, I interviewed Bruce Corbett many times in this room. And Bruce Corbett was actually a very good friend of mine. Not only a very good friend of mine, but a very close friend of mine. And I remember when he was dying, he would message me. And he would tell me, like, Rob, these I'm in so much pain. These medicines are not helping me. And he knew he was gonna die. He
was a fighter, man. He held on.
He
held
knew
on
he was
for
gonna die.
a good while.
But you were right in the things. I saw your post about him, and he was a great, nice guy.
Man,
he was a genuine person. Yeah,
real genuine.
Yeah. Share. So, if you can, for those people who did not read that post, I would like for you to share that story, because I think the story from Joe's Garage is like very cool, because when you go to a metal show. Let me tell you something really quick. When we go to a metal show, me and my boys, when we're going to work a metal show, like if we're going to go to watch DRI or fucking like a really heavy show, I always tell my boys and I tell my chick, be careful, be wary, be mindful of what's happening around us, because you never know what the fuck's going to happen, right?
True.
And, I've learned that over the years, just be fucking careful, because you never fucking know when some drunk ass is going to come up to you and say, Rob, I'm going to do a metal show way better than you do it.
Oh, shit.
Or, why didn't you fucking interview our band,
Yeah.
I get that all the time, bro.
Oh,
And sometimes it's kind of scary. But share that story, Alex, because I think that Rigor Mortis story and the Bruce Corbett story is pertinent to the kind of person that he was.
Yeah. How we got to meet Rigor Mortis was our first singer, Mark Arispe. His brother started doing local shows and started bringing bands from out of town. And one of the bands he ended up bringing down was Rigor Mortis, and an Annihilator got to open up for them. So that's how we got to meet Rigor Mortis. We played a show with them in Corpus, and we got along real good. I think they were a lot older than us at the time, and these guys were real nice and stuff. And they helped us break into the DFW scene, because every time I call up Bruce, like, hey, when are y'all playing again? Or, hey, are y'all doing a show? Oh, yeah, we're doing the show here. Hey, you think we can get on it? Yeah, you're on it. Bruce would never tell me no. He was like, you're on it. No problem, man.
Super cool.
It's like, yeah, super cool. I was like, damn.
I love Bruce Corbett.
So we did probably like 5 or 6 shows with him throughout different spans of time. Rigor Mortis in the DFW area. This one particular show was at a place called Joe's Garage, and that was a rough joint. I mean, don't matter who played. It was.
Why was it rough?
All kinds of troublemakers hung out there. Just put it that way. It was just like, just
Pot
a rough,
smokers.
No.
We're
We're talking about some angry drunks there, angry redneck drunks.
Oh no.
So what happened was we ended up getting this show with them at Joe's Garage. We had just finished playing, getting them up, coming off the stage, breaking our equipment down, and I was standing backstage.
What year was this, Joe? Again?
Man, this is my mind. I'm so
87?
I want to say it was before they were signed, so I don't remember when they actually got signed to Capitol Records.
Yeah, Capitol.
But maybe like 88, 87.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds about right.
So what happened was I got done putting my shit up quick, so I'm backstage with them, hanging out. I'm talking to
After your show.
after my show.
Yeah.
They're next, so they're
Yeah,
road
yeah,
crew.
yeah,
They had
yeah.
roadies and all that because
Yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah.
professional. The roadies were putting their stuff up on stage for them to come on next because they were next. So what happened was I'm standing back there talking to Casey and I think the drummer Harden were back there, and I'm just
Fucking
hanging out
Casey.
back there. And man, those dudes love to drink vodka
Oh,
straight. Man, they
man,
were
I
like fucking
know.
vodka drink by the handle, just.
Eagle.
Man, and so what happens, we're all just kicking back, talking, whatever. And then all of a sudden, this dude comes in through the backstage area, and he's all fucked up. He runs up to Casey and bumps Casey, and Casey's like, hey, and he's, hey, and they start shaking hands like,
He's like a fan?
yeah, I don't know what he is. He just comes back there, dude. He just like runs into to Casey and hits him.
Right,
and
right.
Like, put your hand out, Tony, real quick. And they're like, yeah, and boom, they, I'm like, okay, this doesn't look kind of friendly. So all of a sudden, the drummer comes behind that guy and starts like hitting him with the drumsticks in the head. And then Casey starts punching him, and that dude's throwing blows. They're just everything just fight breaks out backstage, and I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like, because I don't know whose side is who, because we're new there. I mean, I'm not from that area, so I go and I run. I tell Bruce, I go, hey man, I said, there's some dude that walked back there and just started some shit with Casey, and before I could say anything, it spilled out from the backstage into the area where the crowd hangs out. So all of a sudden, I hear beer bottles breaking. I guess this guy had friends, Rigor Mortis had friends, and it was just we're standing there. Our equipment's in the kind of like in the center, and we're all around our equipment like this. And I swear, Rob, it was like the Matrix. You see in slow motion, we're just standing there, beer bottles breaking, pool sticks cracking over people's heads, and we're just standing there like, I'm surprised nobody even took a swing at us. We're just standing still like, what the fuck's going on? And just shit going on. You hear beer bottles in the background, pool sticks breaking,
Wow.
just shit going off. All of a sudden, the guy that Bruce is fighting with, or Bruce is swinging at some dude, and some dude's behind him and hitting him, but it looks like he's hitting him.
Right.
He actually was stabbing him. He was hitting him, and Bruce turned around, and that dude took off running out the door, and some of the Rigor Mortis roadies saw that dude and ran after him and chased him in the parking lot. There's still shit going on, fights still going on. Well, this guy runs into the parking lot, and a bunch of Rigor Mortis, I guess, friends or roadies start chasing him. Well, the dude runs across the highway because there was almost like a busy highway going across the thing. So the dude runs across the highway. These dudes jump in a truck, and they go and they end up hitting him with the truck.
God.
I mean, they go over the medium and all that, and that dude's like running for his life, and poof, they hit the dude.
They killed him?
I don't know how far it went. I mean, last I heard, when I had, they just hit him with the truck, dude. They fucked him up with the truck.
Well, at least he got what he deserved.
So everything's finally calming down, right? And I walk up to Bruce and I go, God damn, dude. And if you know Rigor Mortis, and if you've hung out or been friends with Rigor Mortis,
Yeah.
trouble always seems to follow
Oh,
Rigor Mortis.
no.
For some reason, it don't matter where they play, there's always shit gonna happen. So, and it's not them. I don't know. It's just that nature they have, I guess. It just shit starts and it happens. So I'm talking to Bruce, and Bruce is like, man, dude. And he goes, I goes, why is my shirt wet? And I turned around and look because he's wearing a black shirt. He goes, my shirt's all wet. I go, somebody spilled beer on you. He goes, I don't know, dude. I mean, he picks up his shirt. He goes, you see anything? Do I got a scratch or anything? Dude had puncture holes in his back. I go, hey, dude, I think you're bleeding. He's like, what? I said, you're bleeding. He's, oh, shit, dude, they fucked up my shirt. No, dude, you're bleeding. He got stabbed, but all he was worried about was his Annihilator shirt.
His Annihilator shirt.
They ended up rushing him off to the hospital.
Wow.
And I was just like, we ended up packing up our shit. The show was already over. They didn't get to play, and we're like driving home all quiet.
And you had
They
a...
didn't get to play. I mean, shit, they couldn't.
crazy.
Bruce got stabbed, so we're driving home all
crazy.
quiet. Like, what the fuck did we just witness?
Wow.
So yeah, that was one of the many times.
What a wonderful story.
But man, and then they ended up getting signed to Capitol Records,
Yep.
and they played this big theater in Dallas.
Yep.
And who do they ask to open up? They asked us. They you come.
Well, you know,
Yes.
like I tell everybody, and like
it was sold out. It was a lot.
like
of
I've told you guys tonight, you know, what we do in heavy metal is all about relationships. It's all about relationships and building connections with people, especially people who you know, their heart's in the right place and they do what they do for the right reason. So yeah, you know, obviously Bruce Corbett felt that way about you guys. So great story. So there was a time where Annihilator broke up for several years, and then you guys got got back together under a new name called Sufferance in the 90s. Talk a little bit about that.
what happened was back then, you know, we formed the band, and I came up with the name in '86, and I formed the band. Back then, there was no Google search, there was no internet. Of course, you know, back then there wasn't anything. Little by little, after we had already put out our first EP on Wild Rag Records, getting ready to put out our second one, you know, like I said, we'd come up to Hog Wild and buy all these stacks of magazines that they used to have from all over the place. Black and white, cut and paste magazines, glossy, Metal Forces, you know, professional magazines. We would end up buying those, and I would go through them, you know, going through the pages, and Canadian Annihilator. I was like, Canadian Annihilator. I was like, what the hell? We go to find out there's a band from Canada called Annihilator. And at the time they came out, of course, they had a big record label right off the bat. They had Roadrunner, I think it was Roadrunner or Road Racer Records at the time. They had Road Racer, that video on MTV. We started finding out, you know, all this stuff about, you know, them being around. Even though it's pronounced the same, we spell ours different. Right. It still kind of affected the fact that we were trying to get off of Wild Rags. We did our EP. We were trying to get off of Wild Rags and try to get signed to like Metal Blade, try to get signed to New Renaissance Records. Sure. You know, all the labels that were around back then, and even the real smaller, obscure ones. And I think what stopped us from getting signed at the time was that the name. You know what I mean? The name is what kind of put off record. Like, what? This band's from Texas, Annihilator. Don't they know there's already a bigger Annihilator, you know? And of course, you know, it just got to the point where I thought, you know what? You know, I want to make a career out of this. So the only way I'm going to be able to make a career and take it to the next level or the next step would be is just to change the name.
Sure.
And it's not, it wasn't, you know, most people think Annihilator is Sufferance, just continuation of Annihilator. No.
Sure.
I stopped Annihilator in 1990. I think our last show was Mexico City, two nights in Mexico City. We got back. I talked to Wild Rag Records at the time, and I told him, I said, hey, look, man, I don't want to do this Annihilator. And he was like, upset. Why? You know, it's working out good. The records are selling, this and that. I said, no. I said, I want to go further, and I'm going to change the band name. He was kind of pissed, but he said, okay, we'll agree to that. So what we ended up doing is I stopped Annihilator, and I told him we're going to start a new band called Sufferance. So we ended up creating Sufferance, and the people that were in Annihilator at the time, those guys came with me when I created Sufferance. We're still playing the same members, and we continue from there. We put out a 2-song demo on Wild Rags. And I told the guy, don't sell it, give it away for free, you know, with your mail order. Because if you remember Wild Rags, I don't know, some people are familiar with Wild Rags. They used to send a newsletter. They used to send a newsletter out. And I used to tell them, every time you send a newsletter out to somebody or something, just give the cassettes away for free. So we did that. We gave away, I think he made like 500 copies, and we ended up giving away for free. After that happened, and we kind of just had a little falling out with Wild Rags, and we just parted ways.
Where were they from, Wild Rag?
Montebello, California.
Oh,
around the Whittier area. They were from there. So we kind of had a little falling out with Wild Rags, and we ended up just going on our own and recording from there. We recorded a cassette called Seed of Hatred. Professional quality, pull out, you know, like the way cassettes used to come back in the day. Shrink wrapped all the works. We did it ourselves. We paid for it.
Well, you know, the 90s was a weird time for thrash metal, you know. because of grunge and all that.
Plus, death metal started kicking in, and
Yeah.
kids started kind of like, oh, it's getting heavier than thrash. Shit. You know, that's when Cannibal and Deicide
Yeah.
and the Malevolent Creation started coming out.
The death metal scene started rising up, right?
And then thrash kind of started getting, because if you look at it, if you followed music back then, there was, I guess, like maybe 3 waves of thrash metal. Of course, you had the original, the OGs, which was Slayer, Metallica,
the Big Four.
Exodus, the Big Four. After that, then you had your Forbiddens, your
Violence,
Dark Angels, Violent, you know, and
Death
then,
Angel.
yeah, and then after that, the third tier you had already. By then, you had the I can't even remember who the third tier would be. You can help me out. By then, the third wave of thrash came out. People were already kind of like thrash is kind of It's all, they were signing bands left and right. Things started sounding alike. It kind of got stale. And then somebody came out with, you know, even more brutal music. You know, death metal. The vocals were brutal. The guitars were heavier or faster. You know.
Yeah.
So.
So, Sufferance, you know, was out for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Then you decided to like go back to Anialator in 2015. At that time, you came back to Anialator. You released a record. Your first recording, really, in quite some time, 20 plus years or so.
Yeah. Something
like that. Why did you decide to go back to Anialator?
It was pretty simple. The fact that all this social media pages.
Yeah, and I'm okay. Before I let you elaborate on that, I'm so glad you started that way, because yes, you know, you and I are talking about, you know, periods of time, and throughout these periods of time, you know, the industry's changing, marketing is changing. Part of the marketing was social media, you know, and all of that, you know, and
MySpace,
of course, you know, everything, you know, is changing. And, you know, I would be remiss not to share that even affected us here at the show.
Well, actually what happened was, and it's just another real quick story, is I had started what was that social media you just said? What was it?
MySpace.
MySpace. I had started MySpace with a different band that me and Tony were in at the time. So I was kind of familiar of how that kind of stuff kind of worked. I was a late bloomer to get on Facebook.
Of course.
And I used to hear about it, but I was like, I don't want to fucking share my shit with people or whatever. You know? God damn it. Nobody needs. Now he's like, you share it with everybody. But at the time, I decided to get on, I think it was like 2013. I got on Facebook, and what happened was people started contacting me from saying like, hey, aren't you the guy that used to play an Annihilator?
What?
Aren't you the guy that used to, you know, this and that? And the reason we bought back, I bought back Annihilator actually, was the reason I bought back Annihilator was because due to YouTube Music, due to eBay, due to all our old EPs were being sold on eBay, people were buying them, kids were listening to our new breed of kids, not the older ones.
For sure. Not
they
the
were,
dads.
They were
kids.
discovering their dad's collection.
For sure.
You know, it's like, oh, my dad had this, Annihilator, what's this? You know, so all this, people would be, you know, sending me messages on Facebook, and I was like, man, are they interested in that? You know, I was like, fuck. And I started saying, you know what? I'm going to just see what happens. Let's just test the water. As soon as I, you know, got everybody that I needed to start the band again, I started getting offers from Houston. Hey, man, you want to play our festival? What we do? You want to do this? You want to do that? And yeah, you know, it's like, oh, what are you asking for? And I'd be like, before we could barely get
$3
shit.
G's.
Hey, before
$3,000.
Before we could barely get in the 80s, we could barely get $50, you know.
Yeah.
So shit, they're demanding. I said, we want this much. And they're, you know, I kind of mentioned a high price. Okay, you got it. Oh,
wow,
shit,
yeah.
So the next time somebody asks, 2 hotel rooms and this.
For sure.
Yeah. So the just to make, you know, the long story short, the interest that I was getting made me think like maybe there still is
of course
room for Annihilator in this time and day.
And of course that, you know, and that I attribute to, the popularity and the acclaim and the reverence that people have for Texas metal. And it's people like Rob's, it's people like Texas Metal Underground, and various, other endeavors that have come afterwards that have attributed to that fact. People have this thing about Texas metal.
They do.
And, especially Texas metal here in the South. It's just a wonderful thing. And those fucking Germans or Norwegians or wherever the fuck they're from, they want it.
Germany.
And they want it. And they want to bring it to their areas to witness it. And that's great. That's a wonderful thing. But it wouldn't have happened. They wouldn't have had the respect for Texas metal if it hadn't have been for people like Scott Fulweiler, who promoted it. People like Rob's who promoted it and made it this wonderful thing. And it has. I mean, for you to tell me that, Annihilators wanted to, we want to play in Germany. There's bands like, here in San Antonio, like Wicked Angel or S.A. Slayer or all these bands who are wanting to play like these festivals like in Germany. It's like, I get it, It's like
Germany is a big lover of Texas metal.
Sure.
And I'll give you an example. In 2008, Rodney Dunsmore asked me. He called me up one day and said, "Hey, I'm putting Devastation back together. I got some offers." Like him,
what the fuck?
He got offers. He got on Facebook and they started offering him like European, because Devastation never got to tour Europe.
Sure.
So he goes, "Hey, I'm gonna put Devastation back together." In 2008, he goes, "I'm gonna ask Henry Elizondo, which is the original guitar player." And then I said, "Oh, cool. Well, are you gonna ask their old bass player Ed Vasquez? Are you gonna ask Ed back to do it?" He said, "Well, Ed's not interested, so I'm asking you because you're the only person I know that's still
for sure
playing. Consistent.
He has to bring in somebody from the same cloth."
Yeah. And plus, I was on the demo. So
for sure.
So make it a little interesting. And then he ended up getting Walt from Rotting Corpse as the other guitarist.
Yeah.
And then I bought in. Me and Tony used to be in a band play together called Killamora. We had a drummer named Fidel Tagley, and we ended up bringing him. I ended up bringing him into the Devastation fold. Long story short, we played this festival in Germany called Thrash Assault 3 or 2. I can't remember. Which had Sadist was part of the bill, Sadist, Sacred Oath, all these bands, we were part of it. So I'm over here, it's weird, I'm over here up on stage getting ready, plugging up all my shit because we're next. And I keep on hearing somebody going, Alex. And I'm like, I thought it was my band calling me. I'm like, what the fuck? Alex. I'm like, I turn around and look to the audience. There's this dude holding up the white Annihilator, the first Annihilator album, going like this. Can you sign it? I'm like, what the fuck? I walked up to the stage. I go, damn. He goes, can you sign it? And there was like 4 other people behind him with.
It's a vinyl.
Yeah, the vinyl. 4 other people behind him.
Do those still exist? Do you still have one?
You can only find them like on eBay.
Oh no.
Yeah, those were only done through Wildrag. So
I was going to tell you to bring me one.
If you could find them, you're lucky. It's like, you're fine. So
that's great.
I mean, that goes to show you that, Texas metal. I'm playing in Devastation.
Of course.
And I never thought I got to give it to Wildrags. There was no computers. There was no email.
Sure.
Richard C. was good at getting this album out everywhere. When I would get home, my mom said, "Hey, you got some mail from Japan. Hey, you got some mail from Peru. Hey, you got some mail from Switzerland."
Allah.
So he had a good way of getting the first 2 albums out.
All right.
But Germany is a lover of Texas metal.
Of course. Okay, guys. Oh my God. Thank you for sharing so much about the history, because I really wanted to get into some of those details. When I think about Texas metal, it's just like mind-boggling. So that just adds that Corpus Christi component to it, and I love knowing that, because I'm not from there, and but yet I know that Corpus Christi kicks ass. Let's talk about why we are really here. And that is to talk about the new record.
You, Rob.
Oh man.
I thought it was hang out with Rob.
Alex,
Shit.
long overdue, right, Gunna?
Yes, right.
Long overdue.
30
Oh my
years
God.
in the making.
Oh,
Our
man.
schedule's finally met.
And it's going to get deep because I'm so happy and proud that a band like Annihilator is continuing to be talked about in Texas metal. And it's cool because you guys are representing from that area. You know, you're not from San Antonio or from the coastal bend, and you're fucking rapping, bro, and have been rapping for a long, long time. So when I found out about your new record, Death is Calling, that was released in 2024, October 2024, I was kind of like, whoa, what the hell? It kind of flew under my radar for a little bit, and then I got it and I was like, whoa, this is fucking really cool. This is really cool. So I started reading a lot of the press and follow up on the record. And one of the things that I kept hearing was that Death is Calling is a new beginning for the band. And I was like, what the fuck? 40 years in and it's a new beginning.
Right. Hell yeah.
It's old new. Nah, I don't know.
Share a little bit about that. I mean, you know, I know when you lead a band or you're in a band, you're just like, yeah, man, you know, we're not done. We can still do great things. And, you know, as long as you have the foundation of the band, which is the roots and the legend and all that, which is in Alex, then no matter I kind of feel like no matter who he has around him, they could still continue as Annihilator.
Yeah, usually, I mean, if you look at our history of having members, each album has somebody different on it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and it's a continuation with this one, too. If you look back, we've only put out EPs.
Yeah.
Throughout our history, this is our first full length.
First full length.
First full length. So that's a new beginning on that part.
Okay.
And a lot of people, why did you all put out EP? Nowadays, it's cool to put out EPs because the average kid's listening attention span is very short. But the only reason we put out EPs in the beginning is because we had to pay for our own recordings.
For sure.
And, you know, you got teenagers that aren't working, and I'm like the only one that probably worked at the time. The rest of them were in school. We had to all save and come up with money. So that's why the only reason we only put out EPs. This full length is the new beginning because I figure it's our first full length, right? So that's one.
Yeah.
New members, which could also be considered a new beginning.
And a modern, kind of like a modern version of Annihilator.
Yeah, modern version of Annihilator.
For sure.
If, like the last album we made before Death is Calling, Rise to Supremacy,
right.
I think we lost a little bit of our identity because the recording and the feel, it sounded too modern.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't really want to step up and try to be too modern as a band.
Right.
I wanted to kind of keep the roots, the thrash roots.
When you mean too modern, you mean like
we
too polished the recording.
Too polished. We down-tuned.
Yeah, you wanted to be rough and
Yeah,
fucking. Yeah, I get you.
On the recording, we down-tuned on that. Rise to Supremacy, we tuned down lower. The sound wasn't. I mean, it was heavier. Don't get me wrong; it's still a great album. It's just I felt like we lost some of our identity.
Sure.
And with this album,
Rise to Supremacy.
With this album, Death is Calling, I told JD, our guitar player, JD De La Rosa, I told him when he first got into the band, we started talking about how we were going to do things and how things I wanted to be created. I said, first thing I want to do is tune back up like we did on the older albums. So we tuned back up to, I think it was D standard. And that's also a new beginning too. That's what I figured. But I don't know where people got it's a new beginning if we've been around for fucking 40 years or some shit like that.
Well, you know.
But I mean, like I said, I pointed out some things that could have meant that. You know, it's a full length. That's a new beginning. We got a whole batch of new members. That's a new beginning.
No, I think it's a product. I mean, it's a product. And then that's why you're like, as long as I always tell bands like, hey man, like, you know, they release like all these singles and they haven't put out an EP or a record. I said, you need to put on an EP or a record. That's the product. That's how people are gonna. That's how people are gonna know you. You've released a lot of singles and that's not gonna happen. Let's move on because I love this record. And one of the things that I found out that was pretty fucking like, what the fuck? I was like curious. I was like, Annihilator is the name of a character. like a person, like a dude, or no?
Well,
like that dude with the machete and the
back
is
in
that
the-
him?
Yeah, well, it's a more of a mascot.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
He's-
it's a mascot. Just like
Annihilator
Iron Maiden,
is a mascot.
You know, like Iron Maiden has Eddie, and
Yeah.
Motorhead has Snaggletooth.
Yeah, that's
and-
what I'm asking.
Yeah, he's a
that dude
mascot.
is a real character.
Yeah,
Just like on the deck.
just like on the skateboard we gave you back there hitting
Oh
in the corner.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like the modern version of him on the new record. He looks killer.
Yeah, yeah. well,
Okay,
yeah.
so
keeps
since
evolving.
since you brought up the deck, I want to show it.
All right.
We took some pictures, but
And I want to thank Psyop Skates.
Psyop skate.
Oh.
Yes. Whoa.
this is the
This is how we spell Annihilator the wrong way.
Wow,
kids,
wow.
kids stay in school because that's what's going to happen. You're going to spell this shit wrong.
this skate deck
Custom deck.
was brought to custom deck that was brought to me.
by a skate company in Texas. Texas made called Psyop Skates out of they're close to Amarillo.
Alex brought me this deck as a gift and gratitude for being here tonight, and I totally love it. I don't think I've ever received anything as cool.
There were so many made
Look at
and
that,
it's
man.
numbered. I think there was
Yeah, it says made in Texas.
I don't know what number you got, but
I
the
don't
boards
know.
were made, so they're sold out right now.
Super cool, and it even has the little holes here in case I ever want.
Backside's got the blood splatter.
But I would never.
It's a legit board.
I would
man.
never put wheels on this.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Collectible. But that's like our Annihilator mascot guy.
Yeah.
right there. Field Messiah.
I love it. All right, guys, let's move on. This is the band's first record in quite some time. Death is Calling, right?
In between Rise to Supremacy
Sure.
was released around 2017.
How many years ago is that?
2018. Somebody do the math.
About
9
6
years.
years.
No, 6 years.
Yeah.
6 years. Yes. Sufferance of Rise to Supremacy was
Yeah,
6 years before.
It took 6 years
Because
to make this.
because the Dying is Calling came out in 2024.
Yeah, the last.
So
part
6
of
years before
2024.
that was 2018.
Yeah.
That was 2018. So you came out with Death is Calling. So are all the songs on Death is Calling new songs, or are those kind of revamped songs?
No, they're all new because it's
It's
new members. So
Right.
it's somebody new writing the songs. The guy who creates the music for us,
Right.
is JD De La Rosa.
Yeah, JD.
He's a mastermind at
Yep.
guitar and drums. On this
I'd
album,
love to meet
he
that
ended up
dude.
playing, on this album, he ended up playing all the guitar tracks, leads, and rhythm, and he also played all the drums on this album. The dude is phenomenal, man. He's a great musician.
Alex, you've been at the heart of this band, so as you've gone in, through the decades, and now with working with JD and Tony, how did you manage to keep or kind of instill in the new guys, who are all very talented guys, and say, no, we need to stay committed to the Annihilator sound, which is kind of, to me, is like a straight fucking no frills thrash
In your face, like
in your face.
1, 2, 3 punch to the fucking skull.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was easy because with JD, he was a fan of
There you
Annihilator
go.
from
There
the
you
very
go.
so
There you go. That's beautiful.
him being a fan of the band
Yeah.
made it really easy that when I approached him, he was in a band called From the Valley, McAllen, a band called Severance for quite some time. When I approached him to see if he would be interested in joining Annihilator, helping me write the next album, he had just like a week before quit Severance, so the timing was perfect. And with JD, it was awesome because he was like, dude, he goes, I would love to write a thrash album. He goes, with Severance, it was technical death. He just did a lot of technical death.
Mm-hmm.
His love and heart lies in the thrash metal music. So he was like, dude, I'd be honored. Let's do it. Same way with Tony. Tony, been a fan and a good friend.
Yeah.
I could come to Tony and the other guys too. They were fans. So it made it easy to know, like, you know what? They weren't trying to change it. They weren't going to try to be like, let's be the next Pantera, or let's change the sound because you're not evolving, or you want to be modern for the kids. No, fuck that. You're gonna fly the flag of thrash metal flag. We're gonna fly that motherfucker till I'm in the grave. You know what I mean? It's thrash or die. It's fucking
Thrash or fucking die.
thrash till death, as we used to say in the 80s. Thrash till death.
I want to now give Tony an opportunity to share about how he got in the band, because I listen to Death is Calling and I'm like, you always have to have a really vibrant front man, not only performance wise, but he has to sound cool. And I remember when I heard this record, I was like, oh man, yeah, this guy's pulling it off. And I'm going to tell you something, Tony. I know about the Tony Gomez show.
All right, my podcast too.
Yeah, I know about your podcast. And I remember when Alex and I first started communicating, he sent me the record and I was asking him about who's in the band. And he said, oh, Tony Gomez is a singer for my band. I said, is that the Tony Gomez from the Tony Gomez show? And Alex said, yeah, that's him. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know you were so multifaceted and talented.
Oh, okay, all right.
And so
you just
now
thought I
I
had the
know
podcast.
you're a fucking podcaster and a fucking vocalist in a fucking a cool thrash band that I like. So I was
Thank you.
all right. So I'm kind of like, just as you are, I'm kind of happy that you're here so that we could meet, because you're a cool dude. I mean, just, I'm one of those people that I go off vibes, and you have a great vibe about you, bro. I love every time I look at you, you're smiling. That's great,
I love metal, bro.
And we love metal. We love metal. And,
Yes, bro. And I appreciate all the kind words, Rob.
No,
And
it's legit from my corazón, carnal.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
Hey, before I could even finish the sentence, I go, hey, Rob's MetalWorks asked us to be on. Hey, well, shit, we're going to do it. I'm there. When? I was like, whoa, hold on, dude. All right.
Cálmate, güey.
He can scratch it off his bucket list, because I'm pretty sure that was one of the things that, before I die, I want to be on Rob's MetalWorks.
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I figured this is going to be my doorway to get you on my show, Rob.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Do I got to go to Corpus?
You don't have to.
I have to go to Corpus, no?
You can be in my studio.
I'd love to be in your studio.
Oh my God, yes.
I would go.
Yes, we're gonna set up a date then.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
Just barbecue some, food for me.
Oh, you want some food? Yeah.
And buy some vodka.
Oh, we can make something
I'm
work.
just kidding.
Oh man, I'd love to be a host.
I'm sorry. Did you want
I
to
think
continue?
you were asking me how did I get the role as being the vocalist?
Oh yeah. Go for it.
Right,
Yeah.
so-
Yes, sir.
I guess it all started with Alex just giving me a call, or maybe it was a text message. Hey, I'm going to call you later on.
Yeah.
So he gives me a call and he says, hey, I got something I want to propose to you. You know,
Yeah.
in so many words saying, hey, we already got this record recorded. The music's done. We tried a couple of guys out on vocals. It hasn't worked out.
Yeah.
I want to know if you'd be interested in doing writing the lyrics for a whole new album for the new Annihilator. We got a record company, Extreme Music, that's ready to put it out. We just need the lyrics put on there and the vocals recorded, and it's out. What do you think? I said, well, shit, man, that sounds awesome, man. Send me the music. Let me check it out, and then I'll give you a call back. We'll take it from there.
Right.
So he sends me the recording, maybe about 2, maybe 3 songs. And I was like, wow, dude, I loved it, because that was thrash. Once I heard it, I was like, yes, I want to be a part of something thrash. I've been doing tributes. I've been doing cover bands. But I was missing the original band
So
feel.
is this your first original thingy?
Oh no! Well, I started back in '86. My first punk rock band called Aggravated Assault.
Right.
And I started out on drums.
Okay.
And I opened up for Annihilator back in the day. They gave us our first opportunity.
What?
Diapers. He was like this when he was about this big.
Technically, I was 16, so I might not have been in diapers, but I definitely was in Levi's. But
Come on,
and
Tony.
he had hair. Would you believe it?
Exactly. He had a
we
fucking
had hair at one time, right, Rob?
Yeah.
Yes.
I never liked my hair though.
Oh shit! Well, I've missed my hair, but anyway, Annihilator gave me my chance with Aggravated Assault to play our first show, and it's kind of like the story I was telling you guys off scene. That was the first time my dad ever went to go see me perform a show.
What?
He knew I was playing drums, but didn't have no idea what the band was like or what the music was going to be like. So anyway, shout out to all my original members, Aggravated Assault, rest in peace. Matt McLean, who's not with us anymore, but Tim Abel was our vocalist, and Albert De Leon's our bass player. Had a song called Cops Suck. My dad, much respect to my dad's career, was a lifetime police officer for CCPD. Very proud of my dad and everything he's done. But we had a song called Cops Suck, nevertheless.
What?
Yes. And Tim went out there and announced it to the crowd, saying, "All right, this next one is original. This one goes out to the Corpus Christi Police Department, and they're all corrupt." And I was like, "Oh shit, Tim, shut the fuck up already and start the song." This was called "Cops Suck," and I felt like my dad was burning a hole through my eyes, through my head, with like Superman's X-ray vision, man.
Yeah.
And I looked up once and I didn't see him again. So he was disgusted with the band and how we presented ourselves, and I was supposed to quit that band. I was supposed to quit.
Wow.
But like anything else, I said, hell no.
Yeah. Well, fuck, man. What can you do?
I really hooked him in. You want to know the truth? I sat back. I said, you know what's going to pull Tony in? I said, if I approach him like this, I said, hey, Tone, I said, man, you've done a lot of shit. You've done badass stuff. But you know what? You're missing in your resume, bro. I said, a fucking album that's released worldwide. Do you have that in your resume? No. I said, dude, you're too good. You need to be on a record before you give up singing or before something happens. You need to be on a record. I have this record for you. And he was like, I'll do it.
Here's your opportunity. And I was like, oh my God. He sold it.
That he would, be like, yeah. So that's how I really hooked Tony. I knew what angle to use to kind of like bring him into the band and feel like, yeah, you know what? I've done all this shit for a lifetime, but that's one thing I'm missing. It's fucking an album released worldwide and probably maybe a world tour, but at our age, I don't know if that'll ever happen.
Alex, I'm really happy that you talk about that because that was one of my questions forthcoming. So, Death is Calling is released via Extreme Music, which is a company out of Spain. How did you get connected with them?
With those guys, it's a weird story. It's this guy contacted me on Facebook. That was a friend of mine saying, hey, there's a guy from Greece that wants to release your demos on album. And I was like, what? He wants to release your demo on album, and he's from Greece. So I said, well, have him give me a call or get a hold of me and we'll talk. So the dude, his name was he went by Couch Slouch. I don't know his real name because he was from Greece. That was his.
You probably shouldn't know his name.
Couch Slouch. That was
Couch Slouch was his fucking surname.
So he had a at the time he had a record label called Face Melt Records.
Yeah.
And the dude got in contact with me and said, hey, I'd love to put your demo out on vinyl. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah. I was like, he goes, do I have your permission? Can you send me a copy of your demo and I'll do it. I sent him a copy of the demo, sent him a bunch of pictures. I don't know how, I found a demo. I don't even have my own demo. I had to ask a friend of mine named Steve Garcia, who passed away already. And rest in peace, Steve. Shout out to Steve. I had to ask Big Steve because he was a big dude. Big Steve. He had all the demos of the Corpus bands.
Wow,
I said, hey, do you
cool.
have the Annihilator demo?
What happened to all his collection?
Who knows?
Who knows?
All his guns and his equipment and all this stuff. So he ended up looking for he goes, I got the Annihilator demo. On that demo, I was listening to it. It was a cassette. I borrowed, I forgot whose cassette. I was listening to it. On that cassette, on the other side was two other different versions. I didn't know we had, because back then it was reel to reel. Our demo was reel to reel. So we did three different versions of it. And I told the guy, I said, you could tell there's three different versions of it because one way our singer, Marquez, was singing it this way. And then the other way, he's using a higher pitch voice. And then the other way, he said, send them all. Long story short, the dude ended up making a double vinyl record out of our demos. Ended up, giving me some, and he ended up selling the rest. Well, he came back saying, have you ever thought about putting your old material out on CD? And I said, not really. He said, would you want to? I said, well, yeah, it's never been released on CD. It's just been vinyl. He said, I know a guy in Spain. His name is Dave Rotten. He runs extreme
Music.
music. Yeah, he runs extreme music, and he's a big time fan of you guys. He loves Annihilator. And I go, what?
What
So the
fuck?
dude contacted. We did some kind of weird.
Dave Rodden.
Yeah, Dave Rodden, which is Dave Gonzalez. He,
Yeah.
He plays with the bands he plays in are Hold Aside, and his main band is oh damn dude, I forgot his main band. He's gonna get mad. He has a Volst. A Volst is his main band that he's had for years and years. And I've known Dave Rodden's name through the underground since the 80s. You know,
Sure.
legit. You know, everything. So we got in contact with each other, start switching, messages back and forth.
Yep.
He decided that he wanted to do a compilation called Mission of Death.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
had our demos and had
I saw
the
that.
first EP
Yeah,
on there,
yeah,
had the
yeah.
second EP and unreleased tracks and all kinds
Badass.
of stuff. He ended up doing that, and then I kind of had this idea, and I was like, if he's willing to put that out, I wonder if he would put new music out. Now, the new version of Annihilator didn't have any new music, and I said, but I'll lie to him. So I told him, hey, bro, I said, would you be interested in putting out an EP of new music from Annihilator? He was like, well, yeah, I said, yeah, we got 5 songs, or I think we got 5 songs.
There were not 5 new.
No, there were no songs. I go, we got 5 songs. He goes, I'll put them out. He said, just get them to me. And I was like, oh shit, okay. And I need them I want to meet this deadline. You know how record companies have when they put it out, they want to put it out by this time, or you got to wait another year, later on or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back to the guys. I said, the dude wants to put out new music. And they're like, and I go, but they want it by this date. And he's, oh shit. So all of us got together, man. And within the span of a month, probably, we ended up writing all the tunes on Rise to Supremacy. Yeah, we ended up writing all the tunes on Rise to Supremacy in a month. And in fact, the last song we were working on, we were still working on it as we were recording the other songs in the studio and finished it in the studio. So that was the product we gave him was for Rise to Supremacy. So that's how we got in. The question was, how did Extreme Music find us?
Get hooked up with him.
Yeah, Dave Rodden was a big fan of Annihilator. So that helped out.
As I said earlier, this business is all about relationships, right? Yeah. And people that you meet. As we get near the end of this interview, guys, let's talk about shows. I want to talk about social media and I want to talk about videos. You guys don't play out too often.
No, there's a reason for that. Is because when I approach these guys,
that's okay for me.
Yeah,
I kind of like, honestly, I kind of like that approach. Because and then when you say, yeah, we're gonna play a show, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go.
Yes, it's an event.
Yeah, it's an event. Like, oh, these dudes don't play out too very often, so I'm gonna go check them out.
There's 2 reasons. One reason is I'm friends with John Perez from Solitude Eternus.
Yep.
And I've known John since the Rotting Corpse days long.
Yep.
So we ended up talking. I always asked him, I said, dude, when are you gonna get Solitude back? And he always told me, he goes, he goes, when I toured with Electric Wizard as their road manager on their tours, he said, they told me that the longer you hold off, the more popular you get as the years go by. And I thought about that and I said, you know what? It's true because you don't want to play. I mean, I know some bands that come back and they do their hometown like 3, 4, 5 times. Like, what makes the second time any different than the third time, than the 4th time? So I kind of wanted to spread out shows, play more. I think we're more of a festival.
Relevant shows. Yeah, like
festival
shows. So I know that you guys didn't you guys do the San Antonio Festival, the New York Death Metal Fest at Paper Tiger in 24?
To, John Langston, shout out to John Langston.
So in 2024, that wasn't long ago. It's like a year ago.
Yeah, we ended up with a new lineup. We ended up doing that thanks to John Langston and also
Tony. You were fucking fronting.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
tearing shit up.
Yeah, we co-headlined.
Oh man, I wish I could have seen it, bro.
Thanks to John Langston for doing that, and then Jeff from Cheese Grater Masturbation.
Oh my God, my buddies.
Jeff, thanks to him. Shout out to Jeff. Shout out, to another San Antonio band, Holy Hell.
Holy Hell. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. But anyway, thanks to them, we ended up doing. What I wanted to do, like I said, was kind of not burn. Just play certain things, like you said, like festivals and things like that. The other part of it, because there was 2 parts.
Yeah.
The other part of it was that when I approached these guys, I knew they had other bands, and I told them, look, I'm not trying to take away from your bands. I know your bands or your bands, and I'd say, put your bands first before Annihilator. Annihilator is going to be here. Y'all do your bands. Tony's in a band called War Cult, and then 16 other damn bands in Corpus Christi that are cover bands, that tribute bands. JD is in a band called Hexea with him and his wife.
You're a lot nicer than I am, bro. I'd be like, hey, fucking Annihilator's the priority here,
No,
motherfucker.
man. I mean, I'd rather have
Fuck your
these
other
guys.
little bands.
These group of guys are like really chill.
You're too nice.
No,
you
these
know
group-
why? You know why, Alex? Porque ya estás viejo, bro. You know,
Yeah.
you're just being nice in your fucking golden age. You're
That's
like,
it, man. I
Fuck
gotta be
no. I
involved.
mean, like,
say no when you give us a freedom like that. It's like, you know what, hell.
and that's why this year we're only doing 3 shows. We're doing one in, or actually 2 shows right now.
that's cool though.
We're doing one in McAllen on August 12th in McAllen.
That's badass.
And then we're doing one in Houston, September 12th, with a couple of bands there. And that's going to be the one in Houston. I know it's going to be at the
That's
Black
badass.
Magic Social Club.
That's badass. Like you know, what, we're 60 years old, 55 years old. We're gonna go do 3 shows this year. But you know what? Just make them badass, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Play an hour.
Just badass.
Or
Just
long
go
sets
out
of
there and
thrash.
just be badass. You know,
So that's why- that's
which
why
I
we
don't
take a- we
have
don't
any
bring
doubt
them.
that you guys won't do. Okay, so as we move on, Tony, tell me a little bit about social media and how you guys approach it, because obviously, you know, all of our work, whether you're a band or a TV show or whatever, social media comes into play. How have you guys kind of been adapting to that or approaching it?
That's a good question. And for us, we're cavemen. We're cavemen to this whole thing. You know what I mean?
Come on.
Yeah, I mean, but we're trying to adapt. We're trying to get into the TikTok world and
Yeah.
Instagram.
Oh, my
and
God.
making our own videos and posting them.
I
more
can't do it
regularly.
all. I can't do it all.
It's a lot to keep up with, but it's worthwhile. I run into people at all the shows I've been doing, and they said the only reason I'm here today because you posted a live video
Wow.
talking about you playing here tonight.
Yeah.
And if not, I would have just. I don't even look at the flyers anymore. They tell me I did scroll right through them, but they catch you doing a little video. They want to see what you happen to talk about, and you reel them in. You reel them in, but you got to use those kind of tools nowadays.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no other way to survive.
Yeah. So are you guys like? Do you guys like sit around and think, okay, we gotta release a video on Facebook or YouTube and show what's happening?
Actually,
Or
for
do you
good,
guys not
for-
think like that?
Well, no. For a good while, my wife was running the Annihilator page.
Yeah.
So every day she was adding content. Every day
For
she was
sure.
having contests, trying to bring people
Good,
in. She was
good.
always just making it interesting to try to pull more of a crowd in by like, hey, we're giving away free shirts if you go and post this, or hey, you can come in the next show we do if you're wherever we do it. If you do this,
Yeah,
we'll put you on the guest list.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you always gotta, as she would post, probably like, engage. Yeah, she would probably do like maybe 3 or 4 posts a day.
Yeah.
3 or 4 posts. Where I'm working, I couldn't get to it where she works too, but she was able to post stuff and all that. Now I've taken over it for now, and I
Yeah.
post what I can. Make
On what platform?
We're on Facebook as under Annihilator TX.
Yeah.
Or just Annihilator. You can find us. You can find us on Instagram as Annihilator, also Annihilator TX.
Yeah.
And we had a TikTok page, but I don't know what happened to it. I think I don't know if we got locked out of it,
I
or
think my ex-girlfriend deleted it.
I don't know. I don't know. We had a TikTok at one time, trying to keep up with the times, because it's like people tell you, Facebook's for old people. Only old people look Facebook.
Yeah.
And
I heard
Instagram is for like middle-aged people, and then TikTok is for chavalos that are got all the time to be bums and do videos of themselves or whatever. So
Guys, as we kind of were hanging out downstairs and I was showing you old Rob's MetalWorks stuff, there was a time when part of our programming was like videos, like music videos.
Yeah.
And people would all the record labels and the publicists would send us those videos. And of course, we would put them on the show. I am a true believer that the video medium is still very relevant in promoting bands and music and becoming part of the culture. I've only seen the lyric video for Memories of Terror, right? Is that all that you guys have out right now at this point?
Yeah, the video.
Yeah, but that fucking video is badass, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, it shows the Annihilator there, and then I got all freaked out because the fucking priest is there. Yeah, that freaks me out. What the fuck is the priest doing there?
If you look, if you
that
look at
freaks me out.
the cover. The cover.
I mean, I don't give a fuck. I'm just saying, like, whoa, that's scary.
When I was trying to think of an album cover, I said, you know what? I thought of the priest, and I thought of the guy in the business suit with his head chopped off.
Yeah.
Because what are two things that start war? Religion and politics.
Yeah.
So the religion is the priest on his knees getting ready to, get his head chopped off or whatever's going to happen to him. And then the other one is the business guy's body, the businessman who the Annihilator guy's holding his head.
Yeah.
Could be a politician.
Oh, my
It
God.
could be a fucking one of those bankers that, that rips you off for money. It could be any one of those things. So that's why I kind of wanted to make it the concept where they have the priest kneeling down, because like I said, what two things start wars really? It's religion. And it's politicians.
Yep.
And that's what the album cover I bought up. And then the Annihilator guy is a neutral guy because he don't give a fuck about it. Our mascot don't give a fuck about anybody. He'll fuck you up either way. You're good, you're bad, he just doesn't like you. Nothing, nothing racist. He just hates all people.
We live in a crazy world, bro.
Oh shit! I'm telling you.
I'm just so happy that we get the opportunity to talk with guys like you. I just want to say really quick before we end out, that Tony, I'm glad for you. I'm appreciative of you driving from Corpus to here to interview with me. And Alex, I'm appreciative of you from driving from Houston to come here to interview with me too.
Oh, hell yeah.
This interview undoubtedly will be unprecedented and will live in the annals of not only Rob's Metalworks but Texas metal in general. So I want to thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you, Tony.
No, thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
You know what? Thank you for carrying the flag of metal, because not only thrash, but you interview metal bands of all genres,
For sure.
even hardcore bands,
For sure.
whoever's willing to come and whoever you're interested in talking to. I mean, you've helped the scene out. I mean, not only San Antonio, but you've helped the scene out everywhere, really, with spreading the word about metal. So, thank you for doing that. Thank you for dedicating your life to things like that. And no, I'm not sucking his ass. I'm just thanking him. I just want to point that out because everybody's like, come on, Lamb.
And that's the thing. Like, we've just, all we ever wanted to do was support heavy metal in San Antonio. And, of course, that's kind of expanded over the years. And I'm so glad that Annihilator is a part of it. So as we end out, guys, one of the things I always like to do is, because I know we each have our own lives and have experienced our own successes and tribulations. And along the way, in our long journey in fucking heavy metal music, there have been people who have supported us and loved us. So I want to give each of you, let's start with Tony. Tony, share a little bit about give props to anybody in your life who has helped you along your musical journey.
Oh, man. I appreciate the opportunity to kind of share these mentors, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It could be mentors too,
Yeah, that I've been able to come across and have really kind of shed light on how I would like my career to be like. Mm-hmm. And the first person I got to think of is Dave Brinkman, the singer from Ankor Wat. And
wow,
I gotta give Dave big props because he lived in my neighborhood.
I'm glad you bring him up because Ankor Wat. When you think about like Corpus Christi metal, you have to talk about Ankor Wat.
Hell yes.
So, and I didn't bring them up tonight because it's not about them tonight. It's about you guys. But I'm kind of glad you bring them up.
That was Annihilator's first show, opening up for Ankor Wat.
New Year's Eve.
They came and said, "Hey, you guys want to open up?" And we're like, "Yeah." I mean, we had just started. They were already going, and Annihilator just started. So Ankor Wat, shout out, props to Dave Brinkman, Adam Grossman, for giving us that opportunity to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Ankor Wat, they've had that presence on stage. Big guy, at least maybe 6'2", 6'3", hardcore war jacket like mine with a big ass red mohawk, dude.
Oh no!
And energy and aggression, and man, they just brought that other kind of energy that you want from metal.
For
you had
sure.
Devastation, you had Rotting Corpse, you had Ankor Wat in the SummerSlam session,
And Corpus, and that was his Corpus. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
historical events. There was 3 of them.
What year was that? Like, why wasn't I there?
Ah, right.
That's what I think about. Like, why wasn't I there?
Probably like 80, 86, 87, 88.
Oh, my mom didn't let me out.
And it was a yearly thing.
My mom didn't let me out of the neighborhood at that time. She's like, you for sure you ain't going to Corpus.
It was just it was a special time right then, and so I got to give shout out to Dave Brinkman. Aside from Dave, I've got to give props to Rodney Dunsmore.
Yeah.
And that's because growing up in the scene, going to all the shows, whether it was Metallica or Motley Crue, Saxon, Yngwie Malmsteen, King Diamond, I always saw Rodney at every fucking show.
Oh yeah, I see him.
You know what I mean?
I see him
like
every
an
once in a while.
ambassador,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
He had his war vest. And I'm
Yeah.
I want, when I grow up, I want to be like that dude. And aside from them, I got to give props to my man Alex, because I've seen him come up in the years with Annihilator. He gave us that first chance, and then before you know it, I get to start a band, Killamora, with Alex. He's calling me, hey, come over here. I got this band, and I just seen this guy that has been constantly working. Putting metal has been on the forefront of everything he's done, whether it's Annihilator, Sufferance. He never stopped.
It's in the blood.
It's in the blood.
This is the thing, though. Like when I think about Alex, it's like, and this is what you bought into, is the vision.
Yes.
The vision of straight being Annihilator, being an entity that is, this is who we are musically, straight thrash. And, when you build years of fucking foundation through your consistency, then I understand when you say, like, Rob, I wanted to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
so,
we recorded
Alex has done a lot of shit. Yeah. So
that Death is
that's so
Calling,
cool. When did you join the band officially?
Officially? I don't know. I mean, I helped him out back in several years, about 4 years back. We did some shows down in the valley with Dead Horse.
I needed a singer because our singer quit at the last minute or got sick.
So that was before you were an official member?
Yeah, we used him as a fill-in, and I knew he could do it.
Wow.
We played in the valley with Entombment AD, I believe it was. And it was one of the shows, and we needed a singer because we didn't want to drop the show. And I asked Tony, and he learned the stuff quick. So
And then why didn't you stay?
the guy came back we were using, and Tony.
Yeah.
I already had other bands going on and stuff. And it was a good trip. But when he gave me that second opportunity, fuck yeah, I wanted to jump on it. But one thing I wanted to mention in regard to the consistency of the thrash history that Annihilator had already built on was, since we had already had Killamore before, he goes, hey, when we're doing this one, I don't want to sound like Killamore. I want it. It needs to come off thrash, man.
Sure.
So I need you to bring your thrash voice, bring that to the table, and I just needed to get into that thrash kind of mindset, because I do a little bit of everything being the cover bands, but I had to get to that Annihilator sound that I wanted to bring to the table. Luckily, they dug it, what I brought to the table. And so ever since then, I've been proud to fucking fly the Annihilator flag, be a part of the history of Annihilator. And I've got to give props to all the alumni that Annihilator's had over the years.
Yeah.
They're our brothers in Corpus. They're still in town. I get along with all those guys. And I love that they were able to build up what I'm able to fly the flag with now. Very proud of that.
For sure. And, people come and go. There's fluctuations. Even within me, like my crew, I went through a lot of people until I got my dudes now who've been with me for 20 years.
Hell yeah.
And the same thing in a band. I'm so happy that you've found a place with Annihilator. And I remember when I heard this record and I heard, the vocals are very important. I was like,
hell yeah.
Like, oh man, this sounds fucking tight. Like,
Right.
This dude's like laying it down. The front man is the front man and the vocals are the vocals. And
Fuck
so,
yes.
you want good riffs, but you got to have a good front man. And I was like, yeah, this is fucking cool.
And live, he's
That's why
live.
I messaged Alex and said, okay, now it's time to get fucking Annihilator on Rob's.
Yeah.
And then after that, then I found out
Wait a minute.
it's Tony Gomez from the Tony Gomez show. Corpus is the singer for the band. I didn't even know, bro.
Yes,
I didn't.
yes,
So I thought you were. So the thing, what I'm saying is like, you were like, to me, you were like badass even before I knew you were Tony Gomez from the Tony Gomez show. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, wow, this
Thank
dude.
you, brother. I appreciate it.
God
Thank you
damn,
so
like,
much, man.
where is this dude's all over the fucking place?
That was another thing that sold me with Tony was that
Yeah.
I had played with him before, and his stage presence is like if he's a seasoned veteran. I don't have
He's
to worry
great.
about how he can control the crowd. He knows how to
Yeah.
bring him in and stuff. So
Alex, share your thank yous because, you know, you've had a long career, my friend. And to me, it seems like you're stronger than ever. So I'm sure that you have people who along the way who've helped you and support you and keep you motivated and stuff, which is a beautiful thing. So go ahead, my friend.
first off, it'd be my parents, my mom and my dad for giving us a place to when Devastation started.
Really?
They gave us a place to practice in the garage.
The garage.
Go ahead, help yourself.
I'm sure your dad.
Yeah.
I'm sure your dad hated
Well,
it.
see, my dad built a 2-story garage. My dad built a 2-story garage
Yeah.
with the intention of making the top floor his man cave with a pool table, and his buddies come over and drink, play poker, and all that. But I took it over by putting bands in there. So Devastation was the first band, and then after that was Annihilator. So my parents would be one of the ones that I would thank that helped me along the way with that. Also, Ronnie Dunsmore also because he gave me a chance by asking me to play bass for Annihilator
For
in
sure.
the beginning.
So
Him
how did you meet him? Like,
at a show in Corpus.
and you told him I'm a bass player?
No. It was weird because I met him at a show, and I think it was Twisted Sister and somebody in Corpus.
Yeah. But how do you know you're a musician?
Well, the thing was, I think we had talked, and I told him I played guitar. But I just messed with guitar or whatever. I wasn't a bass player at first. My mom bought me a guitar. I told my mom I wanted a guitar. I took guitar lessons, all this stuff. So he came up.
Yeah.
And when he was making a band, he knew I played guitar, and he asked me.
Yeah.
And that's a weird question because I don't know why he picked me out of all the people. But he asked. He said, "Hey, I'm creating a band. I'm looking for members." He goes, "Would you be interested?" I said, "Yeah, I play a little guitar. I mean, I sucked at it, but I was like, I don't know if I can keep up with what they want to play." He goes, "No, we're looking for a bass player, not a guitar player." I was like, "Oh yeah, I can do that. I mean, 4-string shit, you know."
You can play guitar, you can play bass.
So, that's how I ended up in Devastation. Is he just approached me because he knew I love metal.
Well,
He
you
knew-
were part of the scene. Like he had seen you at shows.
Yeah, we had seen it. We see
Yeah,
each other at
yeah,
San
yeah, yeah.
Antonio. You know, we
Yeah,
would
yeah,
see
yeah.
each other in San Antonio at the Exciter show, at the Sunken Gardens.
Yeah.
And we would talk, exchange numbers. I'd see him at the mall in Corpus, and hey, he would tell us. He was the one I would find out. He goes, "Hey, did you hear Slayer? Slayer's playing at the Cameo Hell Awaits tour." Or he would say, "Hey, you know, so and so is playing over here and at the Sunken Garden." So that would be. He was our information connection to everything in San Antonio. I don't know how he knew. He had friends up here probably.
Yeah.
So he was one of the guys that I would have to thank for giving me the opportunity and injecting this, wanting to be in a band, and I'm still here to this day. You know, I mean, I'm a lifer. I might not be a lifer making money or touring the world, but it's in my blood. And
Dude,
I'll just.
It's all about integrity, bro, and the commitment to, the music and your artful outlet. And your artful outlet is music and thrash and fucking Annihilator. That's your thing, bro. And it's a beautiful thing for me to interview you. You know, when you're like 40 years in a career, like that's so, like you, Alex, are like, you know, have been committed to metal for all that duration, and that's fucking cool, bro.
Now moving fast forward all the way up to now, modern time, I would have to probably also thank my wife because she's put up with a lot of my shit.
Oh man, I can't even
She's
imagine.
she's put up with a lot of dates that she had to cancel stuff because I had shows on those dates.
Oh
So,
man,
you know,
that's love,
props
bro.
to my lovely wife, Jamie, Amanda Walters,
yeah.
Dominquez.
Yeah.
So other than that, I mean, there's just too many numerous people to
Yeah, of
mention,
course.
but they come and go, like you say.
Of course.
you know, so.
Guys, thank you so much for coming over tonight. We talked. I think we covered most of the gamut around the new record, Death is Calling. I'm a big fan of this record. I jam it quite often when I want to fucking get some angst out. It's so brutally straightforward and heavy. I love it. It's crazy.
You can find the full album on YouTube. You can download it. I mean, you can download it
Buy
on
it.
Spotify. Buy
Don't
it.
tell 'em, tell 'em.
Spotify.
Don't be
what are
afraid
the
to
other-
tell
what are
him,
the other
Alex.
sites?
You can
Spotify,
buy it.
By YouTube, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music.
Amazon Music.
Everywhere. And all
the
music
streaming
media
sites,
outlets.
You can stream it, buy it, do whatever, enjoy it. You can even get it for free. Like I said, the whole album is on damn YouTube.
YouTube, if you want to jam it.
You just want to jam it out, do that. you
I
know.
like to own my shit, though. I like to buy everything.
Physical
every
copies.
other-
I'm gonna let you guys know physical copies. Tomorrow I'm going to Hogwell. I'll be dropping off some CDs there for sale. So if y'all are interested in picking up CDs, pick them up.
Ooh.
Also, I forgot to mention, we just got a company from Texas. They put out Death is Calling on cassette only.
Cassette?
Cassette only.
What the fuck?
Yep. And the name of the company, damn, dude, I can't even remember the name of the company.
I want to get a CD. That's what I can get a CD from Hogwell.
I'll send you a CD.
Oh,
I'll give you a CD.
thank you,
don't even-
Kana. Thank you. I love you.
But anyway, you can pick it up at Hogwell, and the cassettes will be at Hogwell. I'm hoping to get some in a couple of weeks. Drive up here and drop some off at Hogwell.
There you go, people. Go out and get this record. Death is Calling out of the Coastal Bend region. Yes, the legends.
San Antonio's always been good to Annihilator, man. Back, real quick trivia thing. If you want to say some information, Annihilator got to open up for Slayer at the showcase on the South of Heaven tour. It was just Annihilator.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
It was just
Where was that at? Where was that?
Showcase.
Wow.
So yeah, we got to, and then later on we played with DRI here in San Antonio and Hell Witch, and did some festivals here. Leeway, we played with Leeway. So anyway, San Antonio's always been great. Hopefully next year we'll be able to play here again and come do some things. Right now we're finishing up our new album, trying to write for our new album.
Wow.
And we're gonna take some time off from playing any shows. Not that we play a lot of shows, but we're gonna take some time off and just do these last two that we have for this year, and then, you know, hopefully record at the end of the year all the songs that we're writing for the next album. So
Seems like a lot of great things are forthcoming, and you know, I think, you know, like you said earlier, like, you know, despite the fact that we've been around a long time, we're like on a great momentum. It seems like Annihilators, like there's a lot of things that could happen for the band, both internally and externally. So that's a wonderful thing, man. I'm so happy that I was able to have you guys here to talk about what's happening. You guys are an important band in Texas metal, and that's why I wanted you on, Rob. So, you know, I wish you guys nothing but the best. I think I think as you guys continue to release music, things are just going to get bigger and better because of all the mediums that we have by which to share our arts, you know, Rob's included. But keep me in the loop, Alex. Keep me in the loop, man, because I wanna know what's going on with the band. And they're like, bands are like, Rob, why don't you promote us? And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on with you, bro. When did you?
I'm not a mind reader. Shit. What do you want me to do?
Send me some stuff, and then I can talk about you. And you know, I was talking with my girl before you guys got here. I'm like, I was looking on Facebook. I always look on Facebook about, you know, everything that's going on with us, and like we're like 20 people away from 17,000 followers.
Come on, hit that.
20
need to
from
follow these guys.
17,000 followers who watch our program around the world, who are metal fans and want to know about Texas metal.
Yeah, so
that's the thing, Texas metal.
Subscribe if you're watching this and you're not a subscriber already. Hit the subscribe button, all right? So you'll know when the next show is coming up. You do not want to miss it. Rob's MetalWorks always brings the best.
Oh my God. Does it surprise you that man has his own show? Tony Gomez, no. Seriously, before we end out, share a little bit about your show, because I want to give you an opportunity to share about your show, because unbeknownst to you, you were like, I wonder if Rob knows about the Tony Gomez show. I do know about the Tony Gomez show, and I've shared that.
So cool.
Yeah, I do know about what your endeavors, and I really think it's cool. So share a little bit with all the musicians or the whatever out there
hell yes.
who would benefit from being on your show in Corpus Christi.
Great. I'd love to. But real quick, I've got to give a shout out to my wife, because Alex shouted out to his main lady. I got to give it up to my wife, Lori Gomez. We're going 34.
She was going to beat your ass.
You better believe
tonight.
it. We're going 34
You didn't
years
talk about me,
strong.
motherfucker. Oh, man.
Hey, behind
Should've
every good
killed
guy,
you.
there's a good woman.
Of course,
All
of
right,
course,
so
of
34 years strong. I love you, honey. I love you. I'm coming home tonight. All right? All
Maybe.
right. So about the show.
Yeah, the Tony Gomez show.
If it wasn't for Jamie Josta having the Josta show during COVID.
When did you start the Tony Gomez show?
I want to say it was July of 21.
Wow, that long.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going on my 91st interview. I'll be having Life Cycles on next Tuesday. But besides only having interviews with the bands, I like to have I like to come out like a Thursday night show where I'm talking about bands that are coming out for the weekend. Where can you find live music? But I also want to be able to pick up different genres of music down there in Corpus. All right. So if you're on the Tony Gomez show, you're on there because I like you and because I'm interested in what you're doing and because you're making something happen. All right, you got a video, you got a new single, you coming out to play Rocklahoma like my friends at Dream Stereo, or you're like Identity Crisis who's going to be opening up for fucking Youngblood here at the end of the year. So if I like you, it's because you're doing something right. And just like Rob, if you're on his show, it's because you're fucking making something happen. So you keep making something happen, and guys like me and Rob will always stay in business.
For sure.
So thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk about the show. I love doing it. And when I'm seeing your show, I'm so inspired by all the great talent and the drive it takes to get these guys in your show, because I know that without that drive and that motivation and that determination, you wouldn't have the collection of the relationships you've been able to build with the worldwide metal community. Right?
That's for sure.
Worldwide, man. Looking in here is like a dream come true to me in the podcast world, but in the metal world, because this is a brotherhood that we all belong to. And to be able to highlight our favorite people, the favorite music that is a part of us, that lives and breathes in us, is a gift and something that we're very lucky to do, and I'm honored to do it with you, brother. So we're on board. We're going to keep this thing going, and you're going to be joining me on my show, hopefully sooner than later, Rob.
We'll see.
Okay.
I want fucking, I only want blue M&Ms when I go to Corpus.
Blue M&Ms, done. Done, brother.
Oh, God.
Vodka, done.
For sure. Thank you guys so much for traveling to our studio tonight to interview with the crew.
Oh, we love it.
I think this is like one of the best interviews so far in 26.
Oh, man.
Thank you guys so much. Remember, everybody out there, the brand new record that came out in the fall of 24, Death is Calling, from Coastal Bend thrash legends. Annihilator is out now, so you can go to every single music media outlet and find it, download it, jam it, just like me and the crew do. We fucking love it. That's why we're interviewing with these fucking guys tonight. Remember, you saw Annihilator only on Rob's MetalWorks.